Chille DeCastro outlines his plans to sue those who bully him. Outlines criteria needed for consideration of lawsuits. Will his campaign to punish his critics pay off? Jeremiah Payne wants you to help shut down a pawn shop that wouldn't let his mother use their employee bathroom. Will he get the state of Tennessee involved in his protest? Michael Ehline calls Lane Myers a hero and wants the national press to cover his case. Is the harassment of public servants in the course of their duties really the hill he wants to plant his flag on? Plus, Chille DeCastro may turn to Kickstarter to fund his Constitution headquarters board game. Does he finally have a coherent financial plan to produce the game? Does the Pope poop in the woods? I'm your humble newsreader, Pants. You're lost in a world of illusion and seeking the audible tones of a man with a plan, a man with power, a man who will take you to the verge of auditing insanity. Friday night's live stream broadcast on Jose Chille DeCastro's main Delete Laws channel saw the YouTuber again struggle with the OBS streaming software while maintaining an upbeat persona in the first live stream following the release of his Dirty Laundry video featuring Kate Peter, Dale Lackluster Hiller, and Josh Abrams. DeCastro told his 650,000 subscribers that Hiller, who runs the biggest First Amendment auditing channel on YouTube with 1.5 million subscribers, was duped by Abrams, with 238,000 subscribers, and Peter, with 37,900 subscribers, into disseminating falsehoods to his larger audience. He continued his theme of offering Hiller a release from the lawsuit should he recant accusations he made about DeCastro in 2022 on a live stream aired on Abrams' channel. As part of his narrative, he has reminded Hiller on other streams that even James Freeman, with his 582,000 subscribers, has capitulated and apologized for previous comments he made against DeCastro. Strangely, DeCastro made comments towards police officers and others on his livestream that were similar in style to what he is suing the trio over. At one point stating, without proof, that a female police officer had no social skills and joined the police force because she wanted to have friends and couldn't do anything else with her life. Despite his insults towards others, DeCastro would later brag that he sued a lot of people and pledged to sue anyone who talked shit about him. Later clarifying that in order to be sued, that person must have a reputable platform and some influence to make it worth his time to sue. He then bragged that while he had lost court cases, he was now winning his multiple lawsuits and offering no proof of his wins. The YouTuber also confused fans as he explained the backstory to a police dog named Loki who died in a hot police vehicle. He said that the name Loki referred to a Norse god named Loki, who he said was the equivalent to Satan in Norse mythology. He went on to claim that people would know the name Loki from the Children of the Corn movies from the 1980s, apparently unaware of the character's extreme popularity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. DeCastro may have made some news during the live stream as he told someone named Jay in his side chat that, quote, I amended my complaint to make sure your boy is not released from the lawsuit in California. The statement was unclear, as the only user with a J in their name in his side chat at the time was a person named Josie, who simply typed Team Skeptic. Team Skeptic, with 218,000 subscribers, has been named in DeCastro's California Superior Court-based lawsuit. It had been previously ruled that Skeptic had not been properly served by DeCastro with either his original complaint or his amended complaint. The only active defendant in that suit, Michael Blue Bacon Peratini, has rejected DeCastro's offer to drop the case without prejudice and has been seeking terminating sanctions against DeCastro, which would effectively end his involvement in the case, if granted. A further amended complaint would require permission from the judge in the case, and there is no court record of DeCastro filing for, or being granted, the ability to do so. DeCastro pinned the link to his GoFundMe in support of his lawsuit against retired Justice of the Peace Ann Zimmerman to the top of his side chat for the second straight live stream. This has had mixed results for the diminutive YouTuber, since most of his fans make donations through Super Chats and membership gifting. Lane Myers' Legal Defense Fund won the day for Friday with a $35 take, followed by Clash with Bow's Legal Defense Fund with a $25 donation, and Sean Paul Long Island Audit Reyes's General Support the Fight Against Tyranny campaign, which came in third with a $20 take. One of DeCastro's fans came through with a $20 donation to come in second in the crowdsourcing title on Saturday, falling to Reyes's general campaign, which took in $50 in donations. That donation has moved DeCastro's fund into fourth place for the month, with an overall $60 take, well behind fundraising leader Lane Myers, who sits at $820. Playboard estimated that DeCastro made $195 in Super Chat donations during his nearly 2-hour live stream. This is down from $395 he made during his previous live stream. DeCastro has continued to ignore his constitutional headquarters board game, making no mention of progress made with his prototype cards, funding goals, or game development. The sales counter on his DeleteLaws.com website remains at 9999 as of press time. The YouTuber is expected to stream again later today. Controversial accident and personal injury lawyer Michael Ehline announced on Saturday that jailed YouTuber Lane Myers had missed his scheduled phone call with Ehline Friday night and expressed fears that Myers had been transferred to the hole at the Pima County, Arizona Adult Correctional Facility. Myers is currently being held without bond on multiple felony and misdemeanor charges in relation to his alleged harassment of the wife of a Tucson city prosecutor. Myers recently had a plea deal where he would plead guilty to 2 of the charges in exchange for a lighter sentence and the possibility of freedom this year, denied when he accepted the deal but would not express guilt for his actions. Ehline expressed fear for Myers' safety, stating that he was having flashbacks to when Jose Chille DeCastro was locked up in the hole at Clark County, Nevada Detention Center last year and would be unavailable to take his calls. Critics pointed out that, by DeCastro's own admission, even when he was held in a segregated area of the detention center, he still was allowed to make daily phone calls. The recent release of DeCastro's phone activity while in the detention center backs this, as DeCastro was able to make calls nearly every day when he was housed in the center. Ehline called Myers a hero and said that he needed help from his viewers to get in contact with the traditional press to carry Myers' case. He said that he was backing an alliance of auditors put together by John Felix and hoped to show that his alliance's ability to expose a story to millions of captive users would entice reporters into covering Myers' plight. He said that, as an attorney, having the press on your side made a big difference and can help the person represented. He said that a criminal such as George Floyd, who was engaged in criminal activity and high on fentanyl at the time of his death, sparking a national movement, was an example of how the press can pick and choose causes to promote on a national scale. Ehline envisioned having a few local reporters pick up Myers' story, which would spark the national media to pick up the story, which would then inspire national lawyers to take on the case pro bono, as there was no money to be made from being associated with the case. He said that the Myers case would be a case study and would grow like wildfire when more people became aware of Myers' illegal detention by Pima County. As part of his recent actions, Ehline said that he had been in contact with a man named Doug at the Foundation for Individual Rights and was hoping they'd file a civil rights lawsuit on Myers' behalf against the Pima County government. The Foundation for Individual Rights recently helped blogger Rebecca Massey file a lawsuit against the city of Surprise, Arizona, after she was arrested at a city council meeting earlier in the year. Ehline hoped that they would use the Massey case as a template in order to help Myers. The attorney classified Myers as a freedom fighter and stood up for First Amendment rights. Critics noted that Myers' activities essentially would assure all Americans the ability to freely harass and threaten public employees in the course of their duties, and call on followers to join in the targeted harassment. Ehline also called on his followers to target those who were prosecuting Myers with recall elections and negative press. He claimed that the shadowy figures who controlled them would be more inclined to remove them from their positions and replace them, even if the recalls were ineffective. He later turned his attention to his fitness regime, as he was out on a walk during the live stream. The attorney said that he believed that being fat was an affront to God, as man was defiling the temple God provided him to live in. Describing his problems with his sciatica, he said that he had recently been bedridden and was now working to recover from side effects from the condition. Ehline assured his fans that he lived a samurai life, and he believed that he was sent by his creator to help those who were scorned by the system. Ehline promised that he would check in with Mark, the reluctant prophet Kelly, and Josh, this is a public service gray, for updates on Lane Myers' status in jail before ending the live stream. Formerly homeless YouTuber Jeremiah Payne released a video on Saturday demanding his fans help him shut down the Cash America pawn location on Providence Boulevard in Clarksville, Tennessee, after the shop refused to let his mother use their employee bathroom. It's unclear when the clip was filmed, as Payne released it as a produced video and not a live stream to his channel. In the 90-second video, he said that he and his family were at a 24/7 laundromat that did not have a bathroom. His 70-year-old mother went over to the Cash America location to use the bathroom and was denied service. According to Payne, his mother was denied service by the clerk on duty as the bathrooms were no longer publicly accessible due to problems with shoplifters. Payne's mother's proposal that the clerk observe her entering and exiting the bathroom to assure them that she did not steal merchandise was denied, as the clerk said, "We can't do that." Jeremiah Payne, who released the video about 30 minutes before the store was set to close on Saturday, demanded his fans call the store and get it shut down immediately. He then gave out the location of the store, but did not give out the phone number to the store. The highly irritated YouTuber highlighted that his mother was 70 years old multiple times in his call to action, and said that their denial reflected badly on the store's demeanor. Observers noted that there was a gas station in view of the pawn shop that seemed to be just a short walk away. Most gas stations have public restrooms or restrooms available upon request, unlike a private store such as a pawn shop where allowing customers to use the bathrooms may cause significant risk of theft. Payne would later post that the pawn shop's actions were illegal under Tennessee's Restroom Access Act, which would force the pawn shop to allow his mother to use the bathroom if she had one of a list of medical conditions covered by the act. The act states, eligible medical condition means Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or any other inflammatory bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, or any other medical condition that requires immediate access to a toilet facility. Payne did not state if his mother had any of the conditions that would always make her eligible for emergency use of the bathrooms. He also did not contact Clarksville police to report the violation of the act. The YouTuber also ignored the portion of the act that lists the reasons why a business with an employee-only bathroom would be required to allow the use of the facilities in an emergency, with 5 criteria listed and a requirement that all portions must be met. Section 4 states, The employee toilet facility is not located in an area where providing access would create an obvious health or safety risk to the customer or an obvious security risk to the retail establishment. As the employee noted, there was a security risk. Payne's call to action to have them shut down may result in no action taken against the establishment. Payne's video has been seen 155 times since posting. The Cash America pawn location closed at its normal 5:30 p.m. closing time on Saturday and is closed on Sundays. It is unclear if Payne will follow up with new protests against the shop when it reopens on Monday. Fans of Jose Chille DeCastro received a mid-evening treat as the YouTuber went live to talk about unrest in America Saturday night and to announce that he was hoping to make a Kickstarter campaign to help fund the first print run of his Constitutional Headquarters board game. After an hour of DeCastro showcasing anti-police video and calling for the end of ICE activity in America, as he would rather have people he described as dirty illegals stay in America rather than be subjected to the tyranny of ICE, DeCastro provided a surprise update to the status of his board game. DeCastro announced that he was in the process of filing a process patent for the game and could not show how his game worked until such a time as the patent was in place. He stated that this was the reason why he did not start his promised teaching sessions for the game, as his work must be protected by the patent before going public. As part of the process, DeCastro stated that he would be immediately granted a utility patent upon filing for the process patent. The utility patent, according to a Google search, would protect his game and provide him with the exclusive right to make, use, sell, and import the game for up to 20 years from the application filing date. It is unclear what hurdles DeCastro would face in the process patent process, as he's described the game as being inspired by the Trivial Pursuit board game, which is owned and produced by Hasbro. DeCastro held up a stack of oversized playing cards during the live stream and said that the stack was just one part of the cards needed to play his game. He also said that he had designed a board to play the game on, but the board also retained previously announced aspects where it could be played on a wall. Users on our Really Cool Newswire Discord forum expressed concern that the playing cards did not seem to be of traditional sizes for trading card games. This would make it difficult to find protective sleeves for the cards. With over 500 cards to play the game, their protection through the use of plastic sleeves may prove invaluable in maintaining the ability to play the game. The stack of cards, again described by DeCastro as being part of the overall number of cards required to play the game, measured an estimated 7 inches tall. Their size and weight also drew concerns and could prove problematic in the size of the packaging and costs of shipping of the game. DeCastro received criticism from those who note that he says he has devoted the last year of his life to the game, but he has not shown a viable plan forward to bring the game to market. He recently announced another delay in the production of the game and a price increase for pre-sales of the game. The announcement that he was increasing the price from $49.99 to $89.99 and shipping from $12 a game to $22 a game was done without sharing his reasoning for the change in price, or if he would honor his several dozen pre-sales at the lower price point. DeCastro has indicated that he would be charged $150,000 by the print shop that printed his prototype cards for a first run of 10,000 units of the cards. He recently asserted that he had meetings to secure financing for the game, but made no mention of financing Saturday night other than he was looking into Kickstarter. The DeleteLaws.com website states that the game would be released in September of 2025, though it is uncertain whether or not DeCastro can keep this promise without first finding financing for his product. The counter for pre-sales on the current page for the product has been stuck at 9999 since the price change was made last week. Turning to crowdfunding on Kickstarter might prove problematic for the YouTuber based on his recent GoFundMe activity. DeCastro has been unable to secure the $5,000 he says he needs to fund his investment in a one-year subscription to Westlaw AI as part of his plan to sue a Nevada justice of the peace who imprisoned him last year, and the judge who acquitted him of that conviction. DeCastro's campaign was stagnant for a second straight day on Saturday, earning no new donations. The crowdsourcing title went to Lane Myers with a $120 take, with second place going to Clash with Bow, who took in $10 in donations for the day. The YouTuber is expected to live stream again on Sunday. We need your help. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, feeding the cats, defending ourselves from lawsuit threats, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, you can do so via a donation to our PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe accounts. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.